Hey friends, I hope you had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. We got to spend it with family, so we were really blessed this year. I want to talk today about something that I was bringing up on the blog, and I think that it can be something, I know it's something in my life that I'm trying to constantly evaluate, and that is the topic of impact. What is the impact that we are having? What is the impact that we're making on the people around us? And I want to share a little bit about my grandmother, my Nana. We lost her in 2009 to cancer, but up until that point, we were very close. And one thing that I remember, just like it was yesterday, was how Nana was always in the Word. She would get up early and she would have her coffee and she would have her Bible and she would have her open window study. And that was sort of her morning routine. That was what she was known for. And also rattling every pot and pan in the kitchen. But she was very faithful to get in the Word. And I remember thinking as a teenager, like, I want to do that. I want to get up early. I want to have my coffee. I want to enjoy the morning. I want to just, study it out. And I just really admired what she did, and it really inspired me. And I was thinking today, and I thought, it was Nana never brought that up. She never really talked about it. She never talked about her study. She never told us that's what we should do. It was just kind of the silent modeling that she did in front of me that caused me to catch on to it. She impacted me to want to be a studier, to want to be a coffee drinker actually. And it just made me think, what's the impact that I'm having on the people in my life right now? Am I impacting them for the cross of Christ, or am I impacting them for negativity and hate? And it's something that we really should evaluate in our lives, because I heard a podcast recently, and the statement was made that behavior never stops speaking. So whether we are aware of it or not, how we act, how we carry ourselves, how we talk to others, how we respond to that waitress at the restaurant, how we respond to that, cashiers we're checking out, it is always noticed. And if we are going to claim to be believers, if we're going to claim to be Christians, it's important that we always realize that behavior never stops speaking. Our lives should radiate the love of Jesus, whether we are, out and about, whether we're in our homes. It should just be oozing love of Jesus, because that's ultimately who has impacted our lives. And if we're going to impact other people's lives, then that's what we need to be pouring out on them. One thing that made me think of it was yesterday at the grocery store when I stopped off to grab a loaf of bread. I was observing around me because I was waiting, I was next in line, and I noticed in the aisle over that there was a dad, I'm assuming, with his teenage son, and I was just watching, sort of mindlessly waiting. And then what caught my attention was, as he was checking out, what was filling up the buggy, or shopping cart, if you will, was alcohol. So his buggy was like 3/4 of the way full of boxes of beer. And, I believe that that's up to the person to choose, but I was really thinking, like, man, that's what's going to impact that teenager. That's what he's impressing upon his teenage son, that this is a way of life. This is what we do. And I don't know what the alcohol was for. I don't know what he was doing, but I'm just thinking that's going to make an impact on him. That's going to be something he's going to remember, because he's well within those years where, whatever dad does, he probably wants to do. So I'm thinking, we have such a huge responsibility, not just to our children, because many of you may not have children, and many may be already grown and out of the house. And I'm thinking we have such a huge responsibility to all of those around us. How are we impacting them? Are we impacting them with the love of Jesus, or are we impacting them with our with our emotions? Are we letting our emotions impact them, or are we letting the impact of Jesus, come across? And so I just really want that. That is something that is constantly on my mind, that I'm really thinking about. I'm really trying to work on. And so I'm just sharing my heart and hoping that we can really pray and we can really ask God, God, how am I impacting people around me? Am I impacting them for your love, or am I impacting them with my emotions? And so I want to leave you with this. I remember there was a quote that I heard while I was in school that said, everywhere you go, preach the gospel, and if you have to, use words. And so even when we're not proclaiming the Bible, or even when we're not openly preaching Jesus, our lives should preach Jesus. And when they do, that is when true change happens. That is when people start looking at us and saying, I want what she's got. I want what he's got, because there's something different. So let's be that different. Let's be that impact that causes people to say, hey, I want that. And just be blessed. You are awesome. You are wonderful. You are loved. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week in Jesus' name.